What's next for the crypto market? We've seen a bit of negative momentum starting to slip in, but there's also some pockets of green. So what is next for the crypto market? Let's find out and let's run the numbers. Hi everyone, I am Ken from Crypto Trading KS. In the past 24 hours, the crypto market has come down slightly, with Bitcoin falling 0.28%. And we can see that XRP has been inverting things. It's up nearly 10%. Well done, XRP. The greatest gainers in the past 24 hours are Helium, WorldCoin, XRP, LDO, ICP, IMX, TAO and Rune. The greatest losers in the past 24 hours are Brett, TIA, Maker, Akash Networks, Audi, Bonk, ENS and Starknet. For the spot Bitcoin ETFs, we've seen pretty good inflows over the past week or so. That's definitely assisted in giving Bitcoin's price a bit of a push up. There are always opportunities inside financial markets, no matter what the price is doing. If we look into the ETH ecosystem, CHR is doing not too badly. Wormhole is starting to come up, but you can see everything depends on where Bitcoin is going. Total crypto market cap is also very important to look at. What are we noticing up here in real world assets? ICP, Synthetics, CHR, they're all doing quite well. In the gaming sector, we can see that BNX is not doing too badly, but everything depends on Bitcoin's gravitational pull. If Bitcoin is going up, it's going to pull everything in that direction. What about the Solana ecosystem? Lunacy and WIF and BOEM are leading the pack, as well as Wormhole. Inside the service, XRP is doing absolutely the best, followed by Ethereum Classic. In AI and big data, TAO is doing really quite well, followed by the Graph and Theta. Currently, Injective is getting somewhat hammered. If we look at the meme, 1000 sats is crushing it. WIF and BOEM are looking pretty good. And what about distributed computing and file storage? ICP and TAO, they're rocking it. On the lower end, the lower bank, Hot, AR and Render, not so good. As price is always moving in a wave-based function, in an uptrend, price can come up and down really significantly. If we're moving in a positive direction, if we get a retracement, they're all about buying. But the key is, where are we headed to? You must always have 3 simultaneous strategies playing out at all times. A down strategy, a neutral strategy, and an up strategy. And don't forget, even if the potential is for price to come down, it will come down when it hits certain structural levels and then it will bounce up to hit other structural resistance levels above. So the key is to always know your structural support and structural resistance levels. My goal is to assist you to be more of a financial and emotional blessing to yourself and those you love. And if you're new to the community, please subscribe. We have one of the best communities on YouTube. It's fantastic to share this time together. We've noticed inside the markets that we've had a bit of a retracement in the Nasdaq futures. This is going to put negative price momentum on a lot of major indices globally, such as the ASX. So just be aware of these factors. We've seen a bit of a rotation out of the large caps into the smaller caps, and that's translating into the Dow as well. All in all, things look quite good. I would imagine any retracement we get inside the Bitcoin and crypto market will be met with buying demand, especially with the spot ETFs getting approved and getting ready for trading in under a week. So everything is looking good. Don't be too concerned about any kind of negative pullback. You're just getting a bargain. If you've been doing the cheat sheet, you'll notice that some really strange things are occurring at the moment. When we look at the US dollar currency index, it's coming down as Bitcoin is also coming down. Typically, these things tend to invert each other. We've seen yields come down and also gold come down. Typically, those things tend to invert each other as well. We've had a pretty big drop-off in oil. There's a lot of talk about the US increasing its mining activity. And above all of this, we've seen the VIX spike up. At least we're holding at least one relationship. That is, Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. The stock market is retracing currently. What are the prospects for Bitcoin and crypto going forward? We can see that we've broken out of this downtrend. When we typically break out, we tend to get a retest and then a resumption up. So we are anticipating forward price momentum, especially with the spot ETFs in Ethereum. Please let me know in the comments, do you feel that the spike in the VIX is actually going to result in Bitcoin coming up or down? We've seen this kind of behavior in the past, where we've seen that the VIX has spiked over a particular level of resistance, but that doesn't mean the market and crypto can't make its way up, so just be aware of these things. We just know the price is always moving in a wave, it's always going up and down. And you can make money in any market so long as you understand your structural levels. The undisputed king of the crypto market is Bitcoin. Now, what have we been noticing with Bitcoin just currently? Bitcoin, just a few days ago, sought to come up to that 66,118 structural resistance level and failed. It also didn't confirm support at the 65,662, which meant it was going down to the 65,097. We saw that we just couldn't maintain positive upward momentum to re-challenge the 65,662 level. What did that mean? We were coming down to retest, and we've found that we've just been hovering around that 65,097 mark, but we couldn't hold it. Then, where did we go down to? The next structural support level at 63,992. Currently, we've got negative price momentum inside the crypto market, so just something to be aware of. When you look at negative price momentum, it has to prove itself to us. We have to start to make a series of higher lows. We're not really doing that at the current time. We're getting price behavior which is favoring the 63,992 level, or potentially even the 63,265. If we start to maintain a level above 64,800, that's putting in play the 65,097 mark. Just be aware, you can literally make a fortune between structural support and structural resistance lines. So long as you know where they are, it's all good. Looking at total crypto market cap, we can get a better indication as to what could be happening. We can see that the entire crypto market came up to this $2.36 trillion structural resistance, and it was pretty light. It wasn't a heavy one, not at least like these ones, and it wasn't clustered as well. This showed a great degree of weakness inside the crypto market. When we saw a sell-off, where was it selling down to? You've got it. Structural support levels at 2.334 trillion and also 2.328 trillion. When we bounced, we failed to confirm a support, which meant that we were not going up to 2.36, but coming back indeed to 2.328. We can see that we've not managed to get above the 2.334, and we're making our way down quite slowly to the $2.277 trillion mark. This is again favoring some negative downside momentum, but this is a good thing. You want to actually buy at a discount. And if you know what your structural levels are, you can trade between them and make a fortune. Turning to Ethereum, in the past couple of days, Ethereum has sought to take out that 3525 structural resistance level and has had no joy whatsoever. It did an underside retest on the one structural support, which turned into structural resistance at 3495. And what has it done? It's made its way down to a cluster of structural support levels and bounced, but bounced very ineffectively. This is opening up the potential of lower structural support levels. Don't forget, it's all about structural support and structural resistance. Just because price comes down doesn't mean it's not going straight back up again. You just have to observe what price is doing structurally, and that will tell you the entire story of all the charts that you're looking at. The spot Ethereum ETF is coming out quite soon, and that means there's going to be a lot of institutional interest in ETH. I did mention that the institutions would probably bid down the price of ETH because when you're putting billions and billions of dollars into something, every literal cent makes a difference, and they want to show their customers that they're getting big increases percentage-wise. I called this out a couple of days ago because I think it's really important to understand how institutions think. Just like the rest of the crypto market, when we look at Bitcoin Cash, it couldn't maintain its structural support level, and it's turned into structural resistance at 388 and 10 cents. And when we lose structural support, where are we going down to? More clustered levels of structural support. So structural support, if it flips into structural resistance, look out for levels, especially stronger levels below. And we've seen this 379.90 has not held itself. We've been caught by the 375.70, but we could witness Bitcoin Cash, especially if the markets go negative, just spiking down to 388.10. This could create a really good buying opportunity because there's structural support down at those levels. Negative gaps can quickly turn into positive gaps. That's where you see V-shaped recoveries. Litecoin was trying to push this 73.18 mark of structural resistance, and it just couldn't get through it. What did that mean? It was coming down to clusters of structural support below, and that occurred at 71.57. We're seeing very weak action, especially with the bounce from 71.57. This is putting in play the 70.32 and also the 68.57 mark. Keeping your eye on BNB is a really good idea. BNB is an exchange token from Binance, the world's largest centralized crypto exchange. When you see BNB starting to gain power, that means that there's a lot of interest in the crypto market. But if it starts to lose power, that means not only is it going to lower structural support levels, it also means that risk is coming out of the crypto market. BNB found support at that 567.30 mark, and it tried to overcome structural resistance at 573.70, but failed. And we've seen this play out on the crypto market across the entire crypto market at the current time. BNB is holding up reasonably well, but if it loses that 567.30 mark, it's on its way down to 549.60, which could be a fantastic buying opportunity. Don't ever be afraid of negative price action. Negative price action is fantastic. You just need to look for the structural levels and to buy, and the overhead structural resistance levels to sell if you're trading. And if you're dollar cost averaging in, you want to inhabit lower structural support levels because they're incredible buying opportunities. I would definitely suggest you keep your eye on Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic couldn't overcome the structural resistance levels at 23.89. You see, it was quite weak. But as Bitcoin moves, so too does the entire crypto market. That 23.22 mark was quite solid, and it sliced through it. There was actually a lower structural support level, but it's quite hard to see. The more major structural supports are down at 22.52 and 22.40. If the entire crypto market turns around, we would expect Ethereum Classic to regain this structural support level, convert it, and just go for it. So 23.22 is the one to look for. There's not been a lot of talk about ADA and XRP. They've been pretty dark horses because nobody is paying attention to them. And when people don't pay attention, they're the ones that usually move. Now, what have we seen with ADA? You can see that this chart is generally quite positive. ADA couldn't overcome that 45.70 level of structural resistance, but it's got a good play in here. What are we seeing? The most important structural support level currently is that 43.25. If we come down and bounce from that, we may well make our way back to 45.70. But if we underside retest, we've got a negative fresh air gap there. So that opens up the potential for 39.84. If we look at a chart like Solana, we need to know where the structural support and structural resistance levels are. I've just left the numbers in for you. Now let's just pop on the indicator and see where they are. Specifically, you want to look for areas of really strong structural support. If you would like these indicators, these are the indicators I use. You can just go across to ctksmethod.org. When we look at Solana, we can see that it's been trying to get above this 160.13 mark of structural once resistance, turned it into kind of structural support, and then unfortunately failed. But where did it come down to? You got it, the next structural support level at 155.95. If we lose this level, it opens up the 146.25 and the 139.14. But if we find the crypto market finding support and starting to rally, the 160.13 and the 165.59 levels are the ones you want to keep your eye on. Something that may help you, when we look at Doge, this blue line is Bitcoin's gravitational pull. It's Bitcoin's price. Now, what are we seeing here? When Bitcoin goes down, what happened to Doge? It went down. When Bitcoin went up, what happened? It went up. Doge went up. And you can see this dance playing out all the time. Now, what are the structural levels that we need to pay attention to? They're the 12.411 mark, the 12.543 mark, the 12.07 and the 11.88. We can see that there's a lot of negative price momentum inside the crypto market at the current time. But the 12.07 on Doge is a support level. If we manage to hold it and start to break above this particular level at around 123.20, we could see some upward positive momentum. You can't just have a down scenario because price is always moving down and then it comes up and moves down and up and down, and you get the picture. All we need to do is just to keep our eyes on structural levels, because when you know the structural level, you know where things are going to bounce from and also to. That gives you a bit of an idea. That's why you can literally make a fortune if you know where the structure is. And this particular structure is drawn for all of price history. I also wanted to give you an idea of inverters. XRP has been inverting Bitcoin just recently. For example, Bitcoin was coming down as XRP was going up. This is quite unusual behavior, but XRP does do it from time to time. We can also see the downward path for Bitcoin, which is the blue line, and the upward path for XRP, which is the candlestick pattern. XRP recently came into that 63.16 structural resistance level, and we can see that we're above that right now. What might be really interesting is that if Bitcoin starts to recover, XRP may likely reduce. I would suggest you keep your eye on XRP's directional movements. As professional traders, we're always looking to stack probabilities. If we get a bit of a retrace in XRP, it could mean, and I mean it could mean, it doesn't necessarily mean, but it could mean that Bitcoin is turning around. The reason that we look primarily at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is this candlestick pattern chart in the background, is because all of these alts gain their strength or weakness from Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is coming down, the alts will be coming down. And I call this the river. Inside the river, we have the mainstream. We have the upper bank and the lower bank. You can see XRP is currently at the upper bank. So just be aware of this. You tend to get mean reversion of the lower and the upper banks into the stream as well. So this is pretty interesting and something that you might like to keep your eyes on. In terms of the lower bank, we're seeing Link and Sui, Solana, all sorts of cryptos down here, and XRP is at the upper bank. And just in case you're interested, this is ICP. So XRP and ICP are upper banking. If you would like to get those structural level indicators, they're available from ctksmethod.org. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.